A draft that's been rewritten 30 times and still isn't posted. A project that's almost ready for 6 months straight. The problem isn't the work, it's the finish line moving every time you get close. Let's fix that. Perfectionism feels like high standards, but it behaves like an escape hatch. As long as something isn't finished, it can't be judged, which means never finishing quietly protects you from ever being evaluated. The cost is invisible until you notice it, an entire year with nothing actually shipped. Not because the work wasn't good enough, but because good enough to finish was a bar that kept moving further away every time you got close to it. This shows up in small, ordinary ways more than dramatic ones. It's the email drafted 5 times before sending, the presentation rebuilt the night before even though it was already fine, the side project that's had a launch date for over a year. None of these are really about quality anymore. They're about avoiding the moment where something you made becomes real enough for someone else to have an opinion about it. Perfectionism isn't caution. It's postponement wearing a productivity costume, and it can disguise itself for years without ever being named for what it is. The fix is switching the goal from perfect to done on purpose before you start. Decide in advance what finished means, a specific, concrete standard, not a feeling, and stop the moment you hit it, even if part of you wants one more pass. Done is a decision, perfect is a mood, and moods don't reliably arrive on schedule. This requires defining done in terms that don't depend on how you feel about the work. Not when it feels right, but when it has these 5 sections or when it's been reviewed once. Say concrete, checkable standard turns finishing into something you can verify, instead of something you have to feel your way toward. And feelings, as covered elsewhere in this series, are exactly the unreliable thing you shouldn't be building a system around. The moment the checklist is satisfied, the project is done, regardless of the quiet voice suggesting one more round would help. Someone chasing perfect spends months on version 1, still not sure it's ready. Someone shipping good enough has already put out 5 versions, gotten real feedback on all of them, and improved far more from that feedback than any amount of solo polishing could have produced. The polished version that never ships teaches you nothing. The rough version that ships teaches you everything the next version needs. Look at the actual trajectory over a year. The perfectionist has one project, still not released, still being quietly adjusted in private. The person who shipped early has a body of 5 or 6 released versions, each one shaped by feedback the perfectionist never got access to, because feedback only exists once something's actually out in the world for people to react to. By the time the perfectionist finally releases version 1, the other person is already working from lessons the perfectionist hasn't even encountered yet. First, set a specific finish line before you start. A word count, a feature list, a deadline. So done is a checkbox, not a feeling. Second, ship the version you have at 80% and treat feedback as the real editing process, not a failure to have gotten it right alone. Third, notice when just one more pass is actually fear of judgment wearing a productivity costume. A practical version of the first tip: before starting anything, write down the exact conditions under which you'll consider it finished, and refuse to add new conditions once you've started. Moving the finish line mid-project is exactly the trap this episode is about. For the third tip, ask yourself directly, every time you feel the pull for one more revision, am I actually improving this, or am I delaying the moment someone else sees it? The honest answer is often the second one, and naming it out loud tends to break its hold almost immediately. Perfect never ships, because perfect is a moving target you set yourself. Done ships, gets feedback, and actually improves. Next episode, habit stacking. The simplest way to make a new habit stick without relying on memory. Follow along so you don't miss it.